What if I told you these creepy portraits aren't from an old haunted house, but made in just minutes on my computer? That's right, just minutes for each one. I started with creating ghostly images in a variety of AI image generators until I was happy with the ones that would be my base that I would enhance with a few editing tools. In today's video, I won't show you how to do the AI part, but I will share my prompts I used and where I used them down in the description below, along with all the tools that I used. Basically, I came up with this idea because I wanted my husband's really into Halloween and we decorate the outside and we try to do some of the inside. So I wanted something I could do on my own, be creative, and be inexpensive. So when we get to the end, and I will share with you how I got all these pieces and how very little I spent. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull in an image into LunaPic. I've demonstrated LunaPic before, but today we're going to just focus on one of the filters. And if there's time, I'll show you one of the other filters that can make a really image as well. So let's go ahead and we'll click upload on my selection of pictures here and ones that I've already done. But let's pull in, and this is one I've already done before. And you can tell this is an AI image that I've created. I believe this one came out of Canva. I'll have to think about that. But this is in LunaPic now, and it's already a large image. I had scaled it up, but the problem is we're going to have to go ahead and we'll have to scale it again because once we download it, it doesn't really keep its size. We're going to go up to the art, famous artworks. The one that I'm going to use is not listed in this list here. We have to go to the famous artworks that gives us all of the styles that we need, and we're going to choose the blood, which probably being scary Halloween, you would understand why I'd choose this one. And now it's going to transform it into this really, really scary old portrait, creepy, and his eyes are glowing. So what we'll do at this point is we're going to just download this. Now, the one thing about LunaPic, it does give you like this preview, but it uses this cute little kitty. And let's see, does it have the blood up here? And you can tell it's really deceiving with when they use a kitty because it doesn't look that creepy, but once you get it into an image that's already creepy, it just gets that creepiness level higher. We're going to go ahead and download this, which you just go File, Save Image, save as a JPEG. You can also do these other options, but for the most part I just go ahead and save it as a JPEG. That's what I did for this. It gives it a number, and you can rename it here if you want. Here's where I've already saved this before. I'm going to go ahead and just redo it for this in case that might be the finished one. Male portrait 1880s. I think it might be. Save that. Well, that way we'll know how we're going to do this now. The next thing I'm going to do for me to have this, because eventually I'm going to get it into Photoshop, but I need to make it as good as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Inkscape. This is how I upscale my images to be as big and clear with a better DPI. So we're going to open. Click OK. Inkscape opens. Here it is. I'm going to click on this. I'm not going to do anything else. However, I will give you one little hint. If you don't have Photoshop or you think this is already scary enough, but you want to give it a more vintage kind of look, you can go up to the filters, go down to Image Paint Draw, select Old Postcard, and it will darken it up a little bit even more and make that red a little darker, and then you can change it. Then you can export it from here and use it just as is. But I'm going to undo that because that's not what I did for this, but that is like a shortcut. You could stop here, print it out, and you're done. But I just want to show you what I did. So next we're going to export it to 300 dpi. Make sure the image is selected If you do not see these little arrows around the edge, that means it's not selected, and if you export, you might not get everything you want. This is the best way, and we're going to export it by selection, and then I'm going to rename it. It's already going to Scary Portraits because that's where I've been saving things, plus that's where I opened this. And since now I'm doing it as a PNG, I don't have to make it a different name than it was before. I'm going to hit export, and then I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. Minimize this, and then I have Photoshop already open. Now if you don't have Photoshop, there are some free image editors online, or also you can use Affinity Photo, which I also have, but Photoshop is just ingrained in me. I've been using it for so long that this is, to me, the easiest way. If you use Affinity or have Affinity, it's great because you do it the old-fashioned way. You pay one price. When I bought it last year, it was like $99. I downloaded it and I have it. And if you would like me to experiment more with Affinity, because it's a more affordable option for most people, Photoshop is kind of my splurge software. The two things I pay every month for that it's kind of hard for me to do without is Photoshop and Canva. So what I'm going to do is, if you'd like, just put in the comments that you'd like me to experiment more with Affinity, and I'll play more with that, and I'll come back and do a similar video in the future, maybe with some Christmas items and using some filters and showing you how to do some Christmas prints, maybe on fabric, or just for you to print out and have some affordable Christmas art to hang on your walls. But for now, we're just going to stick with Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Photoshop. It's open up. I'm going to go ahead and open up the image. File, open, and where did it go? We need the PNG. Double click on that. Open it up. Here it is. For doing, so now that I already have if I go over here, the scary man, because that's how I started out, was just doing one scary man. I have my layers already built, and as you see, I already have some images in here that I've been playing with. But to get this over here, with Photoshop, what you have to do is pull it out so it's in its own separate little window like this. Lay that there on top, and then you're going to go behind here. This is the selected tab that we have, and we're going to click and hold, don't let go, and then we're going to drag it over here, and you can see that this picture is very large. It came out very, very large. So go ahead and minimize that one. And what we're going to have to do, I'll probably have to shrink this down for a little bit here. And then I'm going to have to go up to Edit, and we're going to do a free transform. Oh, I got the wrong thing. The one thing about layers is you have to make sure that you click over here and see how it's highlighted. Now you can see it showing up where this picture is and how large. This came in just from doing it in a 300 dpi over in Inkscape. There we go. And we're just going to try to get this into one corner. You can either do this until it fits and some of it won't be in the image, or you can go ahead and fit it up in there and then do, this is a little cool trick. Let's go back up to that, go to 35%. Okay, so I want to show you this a little bit closer up. So I'm going to go back to Edit, do the transform, do the distort, and then pull it out. So you can see it a little bit better at this larger part. So it just stretches out, and it's such a little bit, it's not really going to affect the quality or shape of the image. Now I'm going to show you what I've done. So I've actually built in this here. If it was just the photo itself, the picture that I did here is the picture that I download the image from LunaPic. But I went ahead and put a layer of green over the top. So I'm going to turn that layer back on, and you see how it got darker. And I have this at 10% opacity. If I turn that up, it's going to make it green, which is also very creepy. You could do green if you wanted. It can be very green. It's also got a filter on it. Let's get back down to 10. Here, these here are filters. It's got the color. You can also change these, like if it was normal, it would just kind of make it like a little bit of greenish on there. And then if I did the opacity, it's going to do all of this. But since I did a I know I'm going to get this wrong because even though I use Photoshop, I always screw up the terminology. The mask. So there's all these different things that you can choose to do, and basically it's taking everything that's underneath of this layer of green and doing things like this is the difference. It's a formula that takes the difference between the two colors and makes a new image. So here's also a very creepy way of doing the image. So you can choose whatever you want when you do these. And again, this is available in to do like an affinity photo, and there are some other, like I said, online image editing softwares that would allow you to do this. So I just have it as color because what I wanted to do was to make that red a little bit darker. So now I've got this darker red. If I take that off, it's the brighter red. Put it back on, it's a little bit darker, more menacing in my opinion. I also have here, this is like it's kind of like a texture. It's kind of crackled. It's kind of like makes it look more distressed. If I turn that back on with this, then here, what I want to do is change this to, oh yeah, that's what I do. Usually I have darken. We turn this off. Oh, that's not it. What do I have this as? Oh, I think it's hard light. Yeah, hard light is what I have chosen for my creepy portraits. This is what I have it set at. And then if I want, I can turn that down a little bit. No, that doesn't do it, so I want to keep it opacity high. And then if I turn this one on, it picks that up a little bit, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. It gives a little bit aged, brownish look. But if I go back up here and I change this now to different ones, I get a lot different looks. Like there's kind of a creepy one, but the difference, ooh, that's very spooky too. And if we change opacities, we change here and we do this opacity, we do this one different, it will pick it up differently. So you make it a little higher and then you get this. This would also make a very creepy photo. But if we just go back to the ones that I did that I have in my gallery, oh, I turned that opacity too far down. Let's put that back up to 100%. And we don't want subtract, we want hard light. And then I would just export this. Well, I can do one of two things. I can export it now and save it for later and then come back and print it. You do File, Save a Copy, not Save As, Save a Copy. And we want to change this to back to a JPEG. And we're going to change this, what did we say? It was 1880s. Edited. That way it won't be the same as the other one. So we're going to save. Okay, now let's go and open that back up. Oh, here he is. So here it is without. Now it's just by itself. This is no layers. This is no longer a Photoshop file. This is just a JPEG. And then I can go to print it out. As soon as I find the print button, there it is, print. And in my printer, it's already set up to be in, go to print settings, just double check here, paper set 1, 8.5 by 11. This is an 8, by the way, this is an 8 by 10 picture. That's how I have it set up in Photoshop. And then I can just say okay, those are all done, and then I can just hit the print and it'll print out. And I've already got copies of this, so I don't want to print it out now. So I'm going to hit cancel. I'm not going to print it. So that's basically it. Oh, I did want to show you one other thing in LunaPic. Another setting. So what we can do is go to art, go to famous artworks, and there's this one called smoke. This is also very creepy, and this one's even kind of cool because he already had some wispy stuff around him. His eyes are really glowing now. If we go into my folder of scary portraits, let me pull this over here of all the ones I've been playing with, and I'll show you a couple of the smoky ones I did that I think turned out pretty good. We've got this one, pulls up over here. Doesn't even have some of the color. I think I told it to keep some color. Another one would be, this one turned out good as smoky. Again, I have to pull it over. And this is one that I did and I have on my gallery wall as a 5 by 7. So that's that's it. That's how to simply make some scary portraits. Now the thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to show you them again, but these were done with regular paper. So I already stuff I had on hand. I went to the Dollar Tree and got frames because this is just for Halloween. Just putting it up for Halloween decorations. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I think the only thing different I might have done is not put the glass in because it's going to get this glare from the light. But that's basically it. That's really all the money I spent. And then I have a few decorations I also got at the Dollar Tree that I have around them. So it was a very, very inexpensive. So a total of 6 photo frames at, I believe they were all $1.25. The actual Halloween decorations, they've raised their prices, so they're all $1.50 now. The frames might have been $1.50. I don't remember now. But yeah, that's all I did. So that's it. That's all I did. It took a few minutes to do an AI, which if you want to know how to do an AI, I've done some videos with AI, and I've also done another video that introduced you to LunaPic, so I have that you can go look at. Basically that's that. So here, just take a last look at my photo gallery and just know that it is super easy to do if you have a computer and a printer and some paper, and go get some cheap frames and you're good to go to have a scary wall. I'm actually going to try to do an outdoor sign with one of these images, so my husband can have another outdoor decoration to add to our collection. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.